So hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now yeah, that's right, today I'm doing a video called Trailers Better Than the Films, and that is a little series that I've come up with. I might not do loads of these, but I thought I'd do one, give it a go. I've picked up a handful of Blu-rays in my collection where I feel the trailers for these films were better than the films. Now necessarily I don't dislike the film just might have been okay, where the trailer made it look awesome. So these are just films where I felt the trailers were a lot better than what the film actually was in the end. So I've got one which I want to talk about, which I don't even own on Blu-ray. And that is a Steven Spielberg film, and it is the BFG from 2016. I was a big fan of the BFG growing up, and I remember when the trailer dropped for it, I was so engaged by it. I thought the CG looked great. I thought that the actor, I forget his name, who they picked to do the BFG, was a perfect choice for a live action adaptation of the story. The colours, the cinematography looked beautiful, and I really had a lot of trust and a lot of faith that the film would turn out fine because Spielberg was behind the camera. And I heard a lot of bad things about it, so I didn't pick it up on Blu-ray. But then I did watch it on Netflix about 2 months ago. I remember the trailers looking good, so I was thinking, maybe people were just overly too harsh on it, but it was generally a massive dud. Humongous dud. I really didn't like the film, and it's a great shame. It really is. Because I love the BFG. It's a shame they got that one so wrong. But anyway, every other film that I'm going to talk about, I do actually own on Blu-ray. I've got to pull one down, so I'm just going to sneakily do that over the top of the camera now. And you can see it, because I want to keep them all in order. I did write a list down, I just forgot to pull it out, and I just clocked it in my head. But anyway, let's get started. So the first one up that I'm going to talk about is Star Wars The Last Jedi. I am a Last Jedi fan. I'm not one of these Last Jedi bashers. I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was a really good addition to the Star Wars universe. However, the second trailer that was released was incredible. And was the film incredible? Not really. It was a really good film. I do think it was really good, but I wouldn't say it was incredible. Whereas the second trailer was amazing. Opened up with Snoke talking again, Andy Serkis, fantastic, and it had this great piece by John Williams, which wasn't even in the film. So yeah, the second trailer for this film was incredible, and made the film look like an action-packed, really fun adventure with some serious tones. And it wasn't really that, unfortunately. But as I say, I still like the film. I still think it's a good film. And the same goes to this one. I don't mind this film. But this, again, the trailer to this one, I believe it was the first trailer, was incredible. And that is the Avengers Age of Ultron. I think this film's okay. I think this film really lacks because of the clashing between Joss Whedon and Marvel itself. You can tell that the film got messy and there was two different visions for this film. The film got really clouded and really cluttered. The first trailer for this film was amazing, with, of course, James Spader voicing Ultron at the start, going, "I'm going to show you something beautiful." Everyone's screaming. It's such a cool piece of dialogue, and his voice done it so well. You feel, oh my god, Ultron's going to be so menacing, and you can see, like, the world, like, I think it's, I forget where it is. It might have been Sokovia, I think. You can see everything like burning, you see buildings falling down, and you think this is going to be awesome. I didn't hate Ultron himself, but he was the opposite of menacing, and the conclusion fight wasn't really all that, unlike the first Avengers and the latest Avengers, Infinity War. So I found Age of Ultron very disappointing because the trailers made it look so much better than what it was. Okay, so next one up is X-Men Apocalypse. I was a big fan of Days of Future Past, and I really enjoyed First Class as well. So I had a lot of trust in this young, rebooted X-Men franchise. The first trailer for this popped up, and I thought, wow, this is really cool, actually. I've seen some set photos of Apocalypse himself, portrayed by Oscar Isaacs. And I thought, oof, this don't look good. The trailer drops, it was like, oh, he don't look that bad. I mean, he don't look great, but he looks okay. And then the film came out, and needless to say, I hated this film. I purely own it for my Marvel collection. But yeah, I was not a fan of this film at all. It was messy, cluttered, rushed, just boring. And considering Apocalypse is the X-Men's Thanos, he was pretty useless. Whereas again, the trailers made him look so much better than what he actually was. Okay, so last Marvel one I'm going to talk about is Fantastic Four. This is the 2015, pretty sure it's 2015 Fantastic Four. I don't mind the first Fantastic Four film. The second one, Rise of the Silver Surfer, is dreadful. So I'm not a Fantastic Four hater, because generally I don't mind the first one. Saw the trailer to this and I was like, wow, there's hope. This don't look that bad. It looks like they've put a lot of effort in. They had a really good cast, I thought. The tone of the film looked really good. The visual effects looked good. And then it come out and the first hour was just okay. And even that's probably too generous, because it's still a rather dull film to watch. And then the second half is cluttered, horrible, and Doctor Doom is disastrous. So yeah, the trailers made that one look quite good, and it was the opposite. It was actually quite bad. So now we're gonna go from Marvel to DC, and I'm gonna talk about Batman v Superman, because there's a lot of hype building up for this film. Zack Snyder's second entry into the DCEU. Finally getting to see Ben Affleck as Batman, and a lot of build up to that. And the first trailer, I'm talking the teaser trailer, where all you get is Batman asking Superman, do you bleed? It was incredible. It was an incredible teaser. It was the best way to tease this film. It was fantastic. And then the first trailer that followed made it look really good. Wonder Woman pops up. You were like, oh my god, Wonder Woman's in it as well. The excitement was building, and then nothing happened. It was so dull to watch. And Wonder Woman felt forced in. Doomsday felt forced in. Jesse Eisenberg, to be fair, he didn't even look that good in the trailer, I'm not going to lie. He was what I expected. But yeah, it wasn't a bad film. I'm not a Batman v Superman hater. I think it's just average, middle of the road. But the trailers made it look so much better. And then we're going to talk about Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad had awesome trailers. Awesome trailers. They done a really cool... I really like the music in the trailers. They done a really weird version of a Bee Gees song, I believe. And then they done You Don't Own Me. And then they also done one with a Queen song. They done a trailer with a Sweet song, Ballroom Blitz. The trailers for this were great. The music was great. The energy was great. The cinematography was looking really good. The editing in the trailers, of course it looked good, because it was a trailer company that edited the whole film. It looked really interesting. Jared Leto's Joker, I was never on board with him to start with, really, but I was like, this is going to be interesting. It's a different take on the Joker. This might not be bad. Let's see how it goes. All in all, Suicide Squad was a terrible film. I hated it. It was an appalling film to watch. Yeah, I thought it was going to be good. I was very excited about it. I remember telling someone who said they didn't think it looked very good. I was saying, don't worry, I think it's going to be good. Look at the trailers. It looks very good. Promising. Going to see some cool Batman villains. I was so wrong. The film is terrible. Okay, we're going to move off superheroes now. I'm going to talk about this film. Pacific Rim. Oh, that's a train. Pacific Rim. First trailer dropped for this. I was like, this looks awesome. Giant robots v giant aliens. Everything looked cool. The pacing looked great. The soundtrack looked great. Everything looked really, really good. And then you watch the film and you see that there is no structure to the story whatsoever. The acting is appalling. And that really cool soundtrack, the really cool theme that we get in the trailer, they play about every 2 minutes of the film. It's not very good. And then we've got Terminator Genisys. I didn't see this film in cinema because I heard it was really bad, so I waited for the Blu-ray. Picked it up, and yeah, I thought the trailer looked really cool. Really cool. I remember a lot of people praising the trailer when it came out. Really cool scene with his helicopter in the trailer. Emilia Clarke looked really good in it. It was fantastic to see Arnie back, because he hadn't been in one of these really since Terminator 3. I suppose he had a small sort of cameo in Judgment Day. No, not Judgment Day, sorry. It's Salvation. But the trailers for that looked horrible anyway, so I wasn't surprised that that was a horrible film. This wasn't a bad film. I didn't hate it like some people do, but definitely a huge disappointment from the trailers. Next one up, I was a big fan of the first film in this series, and then the second film's trailer dropped, and I thought, wow, this looks really good. This looks like a good follow-on. There's some cool bits in it. It looked like they were going to build a lot of tension, and I'll give it away now. It is The Hunger Games. I'm talking about the second one, Catching Fire. And yeah, I remember seeing a lot of Hunger Games stuff in the trailer. I thought, this is really good. We're going to spend a lot of time in the games. There's going to be a lot of tension building, a lot of cool action. Spent at least 2/3 of the film out of the games. It was boring. The build-up was poorly executed. Then when you were in the games, there was no tension whatsoever. You knew who was going to walk out of that alive and who was going to die. But it's not a bad film. It's just average. If you want to watch a bad Hunger Games film, you watch the second or third one. Third or fourth one, sorry. When it comes to James Bond, I'm not the biggest fan. I like James Bond, but I don't love it. But Spectre had amazing trailers. It showed great tension building, some great action shots. You have Christoph Waltz as the villain, which is amazing. Was the film actually as good as the trailers? I don't think so. It's an okay film. It's just very forgettable, very bland. There's just not much to the film, unfortunately. And again, it feels like Christoph Waltz has been wasted in another Hollywood film. Now, I remember seeing trailers for this all the time when I got in my massive movie streak last year. Trailers to this were amazing, and that is Murder on the Orient Express. The cast, look at the cast. Kenneth Branagh, Judi Dench, Johnny Depp, Daisy Ridley. I mean, Penelope Cruz. I mean, you can keep going. There's just incredible cast of this film. Fantastic, I love it so much. And the trailer as well, I'm not a big fan of this band, but they had the Imagine Dragons Believer playing throughout it, and it works so well in the trailers. And then I went to see the film, and I found it, again, just very average, very middle of the road, very dry film. It was alright. It was alright. But the trailers made it look really good, like maybe award-winning contender. But unfortunately, it was the complete opposite of that. Coming off Pirates of the Caribbean, I was so excited for this film. I love the original 3 Pirates films, with Gore Verbinski directing, and of course Johnny Depp. I mean, Johnny Depp is still there for some weird reason, even though Pirates of the Caribbean has now turned into a Disney clusterfuck. But the original 3 are great. I love them. The director, Gore Verbinski, has done another fantastic film called Rango out there with Johnny Depp, and with Bill Nighy being the villain again in it, so I must recommend that if you're a fan of the original 3 Pirates films. But they also done this film, The Lone Ranger. I don't hate this film. People absolutely hate this film. I don't. I find it still entertaining. I think it's a fun film to look at. It's a fun film to watch. The visuals are fantastic, as always, with a Gore Verbinski film. But it was definitely not as good as the trailers made out. The trailers made it look like another fun, epic Pirates of the Caribbean 4. And it wasn't. It wasn't. It was far from that, unfortunately. Now, if you're a proper movie follower like me, then I'm sure you're a big fan of The Wizard of Oz. I love The Wizard of Oz. I grew up watching it. It's a fantastic classic film from 1930, I want to say 8, but I'm probably wrong and I'm going to get torn apart for it. So when the trailer for Oz the Great and the Powerful dropped, I'm sure everyone was kind of like, wow, this doesn't look awful. We could actually get a good prequel to The Wizard of Oz here. Just shows you should never touch a classic. Oz the Great and the Powerful. The trailers for it were okay. They were okay. They were not good. But the film itself was just terrible. Just terrible. I remember seeing the trailers thinking, okay, all hope is not lost. This could be good. This could work. Okay, we're nearly there. I've got 3 more films to talk about. Pan. I'm a big Peter Pan fan. I love Peter Pan. I love the original Disney. I've got Hook and this Peter Pan film, which is really good if you haven't seen this. I've also got the mini-series Neverland. I really like Peter Pan. I think it's a great story. This sounded awesome, seeing how Peter Pan went to Neverland. We haven't seen that. Well, actually, we have the mini-series Neverland. But see it on a big screen in this bright and colourful way, I thought was great. The trailer made the cinematography look incredible. We get to see Hook as a goodie. It has one of my very favourite actors ever in Hugh Jackman. What was he thinking? And the film was so bad. There were bits in it, like Hugh Jackman coming out to start singing Here We Are Now. I was just... Bits in this film just made me roll my eyes, and I felt so bad for Hugh Jackman being in this film. I don't know what he was thinking, unfortunately. Again, 2 more. Kong, Skull Island. I don't mind this film. It's okay. Trailers made it look incredible. It looked so dark and gritty. Kong looked amazing. I loved the weirdness that John C. Reilly's character added. And then I went to see the film. I want to say I love Tom Hiddleston. I love Sam Jackson. I love John Goodman. I love Brie Larson. And I absolutely love John C. Reilly as well. Incredible cast. Absolutely love it. The film was so bland. None of the characters had any development whatsoever. And the action was really over the top dumb. When I watched it the other day, there's a bit where a guy's got a big machine gun on top of a Triceratops skull, and this weird creature whacks the skull flying miles. Then it goes after Brie Larson. She hides under literally about 3 crosses of some sort of rib cage from another dinosaur, and he can't break through that to get to her. Just things like that in the film really irritate me. And then there's a bit where Tom Hiddleston says, "Chuck me the sword." He gets chucked sword in slow motion. He's going through cutting things up. So this is not a King Kong film at all. I'm pleased they didn't go the original route of just him climbing up the building, woman, planes. I'm pleased they didn't go for that, because we've seen it all a million times. It was good to go to Skull Island and spend the whole film there, because the cinematography was great. And it wasn't a bad film. It's just, it felt like zero effort went in some points in terms of writing and the structuring and the character development. But okay, last film up I'm going to talk about is, and this is going to be quite controversial, because I never see people giving this film flack, Finding Dory. Yeah, this isn't a bad film. I don't mind it. I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. I do enjoy it from time to time. It's a sequel that never should have happened, in my opinion, because it is a very false... It's the most false sequel I think I've ever seen, if I'm being completely honest. But the trailers made it look so good. I remember the first trailer dropping. You had Peter Gabriel's Salisbury Hill playing. I thought it sounded great. All the returning voice actors sounded fantastic. The kid who they got to do Nemo sounded just like the original. It looked almost perfect. It was like, oh my god, they're going to pull it off. And I watched it, and while the rest of the world seems to really enjoy it, I just went, it was alright. I kind of feel like they jumped all over my childhood a little bit on this one, I can't lie. And I never really do that with films. But unfortunately with Finding Dory, I do a bit. I don't know why, I just feel like that was a massive disappointment. But anyway, there's some films, as I say, I can pull more out. I can think of more in my head right now. I'm looking on my shelf and I can spot another couple where I do feel the trailers were better than the film. So don't dislike... The only films here that I dislike, really... I mean, let me turn them around. I'll say BFG, which I mentioned at the start. Pan, Oz the Great and the Powerful. Suicide Squad. Fantastic Four. And X-Men Apocalypse. They're the only films here which I disliked. I still enjoy all the others. And some of them are really good films. Like The Last Jedi. I think that's a really good film. And I think Age of Ultron's also very entertaining, along with Skull Island and The Lone Ranger. And even Batman v Superman and Terminator Genesis. So I don't hate all these films, so don't take it too negative, guys. But that is it for this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye bye.